Arsenal versus Manchester City is finally upon us. The big one is here. The heavily anticipated clash of the two titans of the Premier League this season is finally upon us. And what a game we have in store. Two teams with two completely different scenarios going into this game. Two completely different narratives going into this game. Two completely different feelings around their clubs and camps right now going into this game. I've watched Arsenal all season. It's been sunshine and rainbows over the Emirates. Life couldn't have been better in the first half of the season for Arsenal Football Club. Everything was going swimmingly. But we said all along, as City fans, didn't we? We said it all along, that when the pressure starts to build and you get to those last 10, 15, even 20 games of the season, you know, when you really start to think about, can we win a Premier League? Is it a serious thing we want to fight for? Yes, if it is, all right, knuckle down and do it. When the pressure is on, can Arsenal handle the pressure? Now, I want to throw it all the way back to that FA Cup game. I'm going to keep referring to that FA Cup game because I think that was a massive, massive turning point in the season and how this Premier League race would pan out. We were told after we beat them in the FA Cup by Arsenal fans and even by fans in general that Arsenal rotated. Arsenal wanted to put out a second string team. They've got bigger fish to fry. They want to focus on the Premier League. All right, fair enough. You've got bigger fish to fry. You want to focus on the Premier League. You do you. You do your thing, Arsenal and Mikel Arteta. That is entirely up to you as to how you want to do it. But you lost the game. That is a stumbling block. Is it a psychological blow? The bigger fish came along. You play against Everton and you lose that. Okay, coincidental? Maybe. Brentford come along, you draw that, more points dropped. Coincidental? I think not. For me, and for Manchester City fans, we will know fine well. But in any Premier League race, and to win a Premier League, you need to be extremely consistent. And you need to build a winner's mentality. Win, build momentum for psychological reasons, for everything. Win, 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 get into repetition. You don't want your players coming into training on Monday morning saying, shit man, we just lost there on the weekend. We haven't had an L in a long time. We need to get ourselves back on track this weekend and get back to winning ways. That's a little mental blow that you don't want. You want the players to come in Monday morning going, great, another win, move on to Everton, another win, move on to Brentford, another win. That's the way you want it to be. You don't want any stumbling blocks. You don't want momentum to be disrupted, and they disrupt the momentum. I've always felt that to win a Premier League, it's within your interest to put out a strong team probably in cup competitions too, or at least a team that can go on and win whatever game you're facing in a cup competition, because the win will mean a lot. The win will count towards and accumulate towards Premier League wins and winning a Premier League. They did not do that. Now, the world of Manchester City, of course, has been a wild world in the last week, 10 days. The world was against us. It was Manchester City against the world last week, wasn't it? Journalists, rivals, Premier League, you name it, everybody. You're cheaters, you're guilty, send them down to League 2, scumbags, Manchester City, I hate them. And we said, right, you want to do that, fine, but we're going to use this as motivation. We created this world of siege mentality, and I've been laughed at. I've been laughed at by rival fans for saying we're using the siege mentality and what's happened to us as motivation, saying it's cringe, what are you doing that for? If it works, I don't care. If it works, I don't care. I love it. I love the fact that our fan base has come together and said, we're going to fight this. We're going to fight this tooth and nail, back our manager, back our club, back our players, and back absolutely everything we can. The manager comes out in his press conference for Villa and comes with that fighting mentality too. The players then show it against Aston Villa. It looks like something has kick-started us. For me, this is actually the best thing that could have happened. Something small has looked like it was missing all season for Manchester City, and none of us could really put our finger on it. We kind of knew, team selection, we've had a few injuries here and there, some players don't want to be there, and we're saying, yeah, they could all contribute to us not playing great, but something is definitely missing. And for me, it was crystal clear that a bit of anger was missing. A bit of vengeance was missing. We needed someone to really piss us off to wake the beast up. City have been asleep all season. For me, the big thing was stay within arm's length of Arsenal. First half of the season, they're playing great. We're inconsistent. Don't let them run away with it. Don't let them get so far ahead that, we can't catch them up when it gets to the business end and the pressure starts to amount on them that they can afford to lose games, and it doesn't matter if they drop points because they're so far clear we can't catch them. We just needed to stay within arm's length, and that's what we've done. But we knew something needed to happen from our side of things for us to go, boom, right, we're going to catch them. And this has happened. This has kick-started Manchester City as far as I'm concerned. Now, am I saying this prematurely? Potentially. Could we get absolutely battered in the Emirates on Wednesday night? Potentially, but I don't think so. I don't think so. When you just get a vibe, you just get a feeling that something is happening. There's water boiling, there's condensation on the windows in the kitchen. Something is happening, something is building, and I think that's happening at Manchester City. Pep has spoke a lot in recent months about body language and players looking disinterested and like they're not particularly arsed. He said after that Villa game, right, the body language is a lot better. The players said, wow, the fans were unbelievable. We haven't experienced that in a long, long time. And it wasn't just the usual, oh, the 12th man, you were great. Thank you for helping us today. Instagram post, blah, blah. It was a genuine, wow, that was huge. This is a turning point. This is a kick-starting point. This is what we needed. If I was Arsenal, I would be worried. Now, my next point is hoodoo, yeah? Hoodoo, what am I on about here? We know all about hoodoo and curses and all these kind of things when it comes to playing against Tottenham. You know, we go to White Hart Lane, we can't even score a goal, never mind win the game. It just seems to be a game that we can't overcome for life nor death. You want to talk about hoodoo? Arsenal have not beaten Manchester City in the Premier League since 2015. So this is a psychological barrier that Arsenal are going to have to overcome this Wednesday night. There's a multitude, of possible outcomes that could come from who wins this game. Does the winner of this game go on to win the Premier League? Let me know, please, down below in the comments. Does the winner of this game go on to win the Premier League? I don't think so personally. I think I will never call a Premier League winner in the middle of February, essentially. There's too much football to be played. The teams are still neck and neck as far as I'm concerned. Either team can go on to win it. But you look at Arsenal. What would a loss do to Arsenal? Let's talk about what a loss would do to either team. A loss to Arsenal would mean, right, they haven't won 3 of their last Premier League games. 3 of the last Premier League games, 2 losses and a draw. They're a very young, inexperienced team. Their captain, Martin Odegaard, he's 22, 23. Would they, if they were to lose another game to their direct title rivals, would that completely burst their bubble? Would they be derailed entirely? Would they capitulate entirely? I don't know. I think that's more of a possibility for Arsenal than it is, say, flip it around to Manchester City. With Manchester City, I feel a loss for us. It's not ideal. It's not the position we want to be in. But I've always felt that you can't completely mud Manchester City. You can't completely lock us down and say, right, they're finished. They're out of the race. It's impossible. We have showed far too much fighting mentality and character and overall fighting DNA in recent years for me to say a stumbling block against Arsenal in February would kick us out of the league race. I don't believe that for a second. But let's talk about what a win would do to either team. A win for Arsenal, all of a sudden they're going, shit, we've just beaten a team that we haven't beaten in the league since 2015. Our direct title rivals, we're now 6 points clear with the game in hand. That's momentum for them. That's a big psychological boost from them. You know me, people. If you watch this channel a lot, I'm a big talker on momentum and the psychology of football. Massive for them. For us, it's a massive psychological boost as well. It's another win. It's another fuck you to the Premier League and everybody who wanted to kick us while we're down. We're going to build on this. We're top of the league. Yes, they have a game in hand, but this is the first time Arsenal have not been top of the league since the end of May when we won the league last season. How do they handle that? So the outcomes of this game are absolutely endless as to what it could mean, a win or a loss for either team. I would take a draw. I'm being real. I would take a draw. Yeah? Obviously, I'd prefer a win. I want to win. But if we got a draw, it's not the end of the world for me because I firmly believe both teams will drop more points this season. I really believe both teams will drop more points this season. Manchester City, people saying there's this notion they're going to go on a 10-15 game run and walk away with the league and it's 5 and 6 years happy days. I don't think City will go on a big 10-15 game winning streak. I believe we will drop more points. I don't think we have the consistency in us right now to go and do one of those crazy runs we've done in recent years. I don't think Arsenal will go on a 10-15 game run again and not be beaten before the end of the season. When the pressure is on, trust me people, you stop enjoying it. Those last 5-10 games of the season, you stop enjoying watching the football because the pressure is that crazy. You're going to places like Brighton, Wolves, Everton, Villa, whoever, who are all fighting for their lives, fighting for something, and every point they can earn is absolutely huge for them, and they're going to pose a serious problem for you, especially those away games. So I believe both teams will drop more points. But this fixture is huge for both teams psychologically. Arsenal need to get back on track, and a win for us would get them back on track. It's the ultimate win for them this season, isn't it? A win for us is right, we've stamped our authority, we've overtaken you, we told you, we're not going to let you run away with it. We're going to hunt you down, and we've now hunted you down and caught you. How do Arsenal handle being caught after being hunted down? Do they get suffocated? Is basically what I'm saying. There's so many outcomes from this game, and I want to know what you lot think. Down below in the comments, let me know your thoughts on this game. In terms of team selection, I think Joe has a predicted 11 up beside me, or whatever side it's on. He makes his predicted 11s. I don't even see who he puts into the predicted 11. So let me know your thoughts on that. I want to see the two pillars I call them, Laporte and Diaz, the ball player and the leader. We need both of them in the team. for both defensive reasons and for build-up play and faster play overall. We need them. Everything starts with them. Would I be fuming if Bernardo Silva started at left back? No, I'd be okay with it, but I'd kind of prefer Ake because he's locked down Saka before. I need De Bruyne to have a big game. Grealish has to have a big game. Foden needs to be on the bench. He's not ready for it. Mahrez, big game. It needs to be a huge game from everybody. I think if we replicate that first half we had against Villa in the Emirates tomorrow night, we win the game. I genuinely believe that. I think us at our best, our very best, which we probably haven't seen this season just yet, but us at our very best, it beats Arsenal at their very best. And Arsenal probably say the reverse of what I'm saying. They probably feel them at their very best beats us at our very best. It's an absolutely crazy game. It's the new City Liverpool, isn't it? It's the new blockbuster that even people who don't support the Premier League or either of the clubs, they will tune in because they want to know, how is this one going to pan out? This is absolutely crazy, the situation we're in with both these clubs and the individual circumstances and whatnot. My score prediction is 2-0. I'm saying 2-0 City, and always a Jack Grealish goal. Grealish is going to score for me eventually. But please let me know your score predictions down below in the comments. I want to hear what all of you have to say on absolutely everything surrounding this game. I'm going to it. I'll hopefully get some content at the game. I'm meeting up with some of the Arsenal content creators and City content creators before and after the game, so maybe I'll do something with them. But I'll get some clips and I'll have a review up on the channel in this format here. I don't know, has Joe got a new overlay on this? Joe said he was going to make a new overlay. If there is a new overlay, what do you think? It's nice, isn't it? If it's not, I look like a complete idiot right now. Listen, people, do me a favor and leave a quick like on this video before you click off. The support recently has been class. We're on 5.6k. I'd love to hit 6,000 subscribers as soon as possible, so do subscribe to the channel if you're new as well. And I'll see you after the Arsenal game with, please God, a big win. Come on, City!
Listen to your heart, tell me who you wanna be. We can always start to believe. Listen to your heart, tell me that you understand.